though. Not a lot of ways for him to play. Obviously broke up that Talia combo a couple of games ago. Let's see what BLG's priorities are going to be.
There's a reason why it's like 100% fan presence across the world. It's crazy.
This champion has fallen off. I think there's a lot more agency. Blind Yorick.
Okay.
There's no Renekton. There's no K'Sante to take for Xiaoxu. So let's just get him a champion that we've seen so far this split. It is going to be the Yorick, but there's no Scion for him to take. For Bin to take. So what else are we going to have coming out? This could be maybe a Jace angle. Could be that Poppy that has made it on through the bans.
This is the first Yorick, at least for Xiaoxu, this split, which is just first pick in a game like this for your newest player, it feels like. And besides Woe coming in, obviously. It's incredible, but the power pick's coming through already. The Poppy is going to be there. I'm glad they banned out that Karma. We'll see what this bot lane 2v2 ends up being like, and if BLG want to put a little prio down there.
A matchup that we have not been able to really touch on is the jungle. Beichuan versus Shun. First two games, obviously Shun gapped both of BLG's junglers going into the series, but back end now, we have Poppy, a flex for this team, but also a champion that Beichuan was extremely comfortable on coming into BLG, and Shun having to muscle up, has to be a carry, I think, in this last game, if JDG want to be able to find success here tonight.
And I'll own up to it. I was the big Shun pusher, and the last two games, I don't think it was his fault. That's all we're gonna say. I know we talked a little bit about it beforehand, but see if Scout can pick up the performance a little bit. The Blitzcrank, which was banned away last game by BLG, will be let through this time in the first phase and locked in for Woe.
If that's one way that we're going to get around this Poppy, maybe this Caitlyn, then I'll take it. We're going to have some fun here. Peyz, what is your options? Are we actually going to be locking AD on this timer, or are we going to be looking to maybe grab Scout's jungle matchup, or Scout's mid lane matchup here before his opponent snaps up a champion? It's going to be the Ezreal, so going for kind of more poke, honestly, wanting to be able to outrange the Caitlyn. The Blitzcrank, I think, works a little bit against that, but we're showing our hand here. We're not showing that Poppy is going into bot lane. We're getting maybe Caitlyn Elise.
Be interesting to see which version we get of BLG's draft. That flexibility being very powerful. The Elise comes through, so we are really throwing it for a loop. Still some flexibility there, I guess, but I could see that Elise Caitlyn being such a strong 2v2 in that bot lane.
The Spiderlings block the Blitzcrank hook. You're gonna win the 2v2 in terms of damage. I need to see Woe either be a human in this game and kind of walking around the map, getting things done. Otherwise, this Blitzcrank is going to be left up high and dry. We get a second phase of draft. BLG, are they going to continue in this kind of identity of wanting to blow up one or two members immediate from the outset? Or are we going to be looking towards maybe some facilitating champions, either from the mid or the top lane?
I would say I would really like to see Shun's Nidalee, but I think the Poppy kind of makes that nil. So I don't necessarily know if I want to see that any longer, but we'll see what their focus is at least, and it's going to be towards Knight, who has been having a really big latter half of the series so far. His big carry picks are going to be taken away in the Victor.
Wow.
Get that Nidalee ban there. Just a little bit of respect to the man himself.
All right, so Ahri, Sylas, these are the last two champions that we have seen Scout play this year, or at least this split. Obviously, Azir's also been banned. There we go. Okay, so is this going to be an Ahri here for Knight? Are we just going to be able to blind this? Go really for that all-in with Poppy and Ahri as the 1-2 combo?
Has to be, right? And
Looks
I think
good.
they can absolutely snowball this game number 5. It could get to a point where JDG just don't have a lot of say in how they get engaged on, and this would really be a key ticket to being that kind of force in that factor. Do want to see, though, if BLG want to tie things up, what they're going to give that counter pick to. Looks like Bin is going to be willing to take out that Mordekaiser into this Yorick and give counter pick tonight.
Okay. Wanting to see a little bit more of the draft. What is this jungle going to be here for soon? Because I feel JDG's composition with the 3 champions that they've shown has a lot of branches that could go off into. We could go for a standard teamfight composition that's wanting to go front to back, depending on what they go with. But we could also look at a composition that really wants to try to isolate individual members. Nefiri was something that's on my mind. Gives him the follow through. But does he have enough damage here, Lennon? That's the big question for me. Holy crap, we're getting Twisted Fate for Scout. This is going to be tough.
Dude, I know we've seen Twisted Fate actually make it through a lot of drafts here as of late across the competitive regions, but I just think this champion is so fake, man. Like, it is so fake. It finds nothing a lot of the time, and now you have the Mel. If we know anything from recent NACL lore, this Mel can provide so much spacing and have so much strength as you move forward. I'm really heavily leaning on BLG's composition just for the ease of execution.
Yeah, it is significantly easier for them to play. I'm just checking something real quick. First competitive game of Mel for Knight. I'm waiting to see how he plays this, because he has the handle of the assassins. He has the handles of the marksman. We've seen his mage play across the board be fine, but obviously first time for this champion. And this JDG comp entirely is pick oriented now. We're talking about, hey, if you're a mobile, well, guess what? Now there's going to be a Blitzcrank, a gold card, and potentially a Yorick. But I think the rebuttal from Knight makes this way more difficult. You can now hook Blitzcrank.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was waiting for you to, like, the craziest
gold
part here is
TF!
if you time it right, you can block all of it. That's the funniest part about it. And you can literally just throw everything back at the enemy team. And I think it's such a crucial pick, but it's also just, if you look at like the cinematic part of it, it's also, you know, JDG trying to throw everything at Knight in this case. Knight has had incredible games so far, and Knight is looking to reflect that right back at them. And this Mel pick can be so pivotal, especially because a lot of time we've been seeing those E maxes, and that provides so much spacing around all these team fights. So it's a game 5 I can't wait to get into. Can JDG get themselves back into the game, or this is reverse sweep really going to happen?
Very execution heavy. They need to play these fights perfectly from JDG. Otherwise, this goes nowhere and they lose this series.
Let's see if we get that level 1. Dio's Roar, game 5 of the first series of playoffs.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎了。
Ships in the night. We're going to walk around. Bin is going to finish this recall. This is probably the most unfortunate timing here. Oh, they must have saw the Mystic shot. They saw it. They saw it.
Oh my god, he gets away at the last second. It was a beautiful play from JDG that they couldn't capitalize on. They end up losing his flash, but that is it.
The Blitzcrank hook also, I don't know who it landed on. I think it was onto a single Spiderling there. That is an important part. That could have been the kill. That could have been at least another summoner spell from someone else. But flash away from on. Nothing else expended here in this game. And JDG are going to be able to, at least for now, start off with some lane priority. And we get to see, finally, breaking of the support keystones and Electrocute coming in for On.
It would have been funny if he went solo, but yeah, I do like the Electrocute here for him, giving him a little bit more of that damage-centric profile. Now we will be taking a side eye look at that 2v2 and bot side, especially with how volatile it can be with Alk and On with the comp they have. But these junglers starting on opposite sides yet again, extremely impactful how quickly they get involved.
We're just fighting here. I mean, On, you have way more spells, way more damage with Electrocute, so it makes sense. And throughout this series, we have seen that Knight has gotten the better of Scout throughout most of the games, at least in one aspect or another. But you look at this game, you're basically requiring Scout to play a very fine line in this one. So how he plays this early matchup, and if there's any intervention around mid, because you're going to have an Elise and a Poppy sitting around your lane as TF. If you don't have Flash, you're in a hell of a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, you definitely are. A lot of snowballing potential between these two sides, as actually
Scout 3-camping?
Potentially going for a 3-camp gank.
Mostly,
a little cheeky.
I think this is maybe Shun recognizing that I'm just going to get a single base, so he'll get his longsword, he'll go back on top side. Nice pick on the Elk.
A little bit of damage. Unfortunately, he gets rooted up, cocoon, stunned, trapped, and everything. BLG trade back beautifully.
All right, so Shun was just there to sit on bottom side, because if Beichuan does go for 3 camps as Poppy, would make sense for him to do that. Also, maybe risking that there was a vertical map split coming on through, because they don't know where Beichuan ended up starting. But for now, it is just going to be Shun with a minor advantage in terms of items. Don't think it's going to mean that much, as still early skirmishing. I do favor Poppy, even with this phase rush.
It will be the trade of Scuttles eventually as well. Nothing else coming of that early trade there, but the TP from Scout will be used in that mid lane, trying to catch back out. Knight will still have his, and get that back going forward. And now we do have the kind of soft lane states for both these junglers, and I gotta ask, you know, the Poppy has so much utility, so much influence around the map. The ball is in Shun's court. Like, if he is not carrying on the Nefiri, then why did we even pick him?
And that's not like a style that we've really seen from JDG. We've seen a lot of Shun playing Nefiri. Actually ended up getting himself an MVP last time we saw it versus Weibo. But he's getting completely denied out of his jungle. Look at Elise and Caitlyn. They're on their way.
We have to try to move over to this. The hook going a little bit wide there, as On will be the first one to move over. Scout's going to try to come the long way, but it's way too late to fight this. Shun actually gets that one, but then gets denied. This was why I was scared about the Nefiri into the Poppy. He just locks you down. The flash is coming through. Not enough to get the repel. On wanted to finish him off. A lot of damage, a lot of pressure from BLG.
2 summoner spells, and if they lose out on the camp, then it doesn't matter right now, because what's the real important... Oh, no!
Oh, the hook! BLG was worried about the Blitzcrank. They're getting paid for it right now.
If Scout had landed the gold card before or during the hook, during the air, that would have turned into a big kill. I think Beichuan just kills this guy.
Oh, Shun. Oh, my God.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. He was trying to invade for Raptors, loses out, and now BLG, they continue to get gold. It's experience into Knight's back pocket now. And Blitzcrank's not working. All
right, I said it wasn't his fault for the other ones. This one's on him.
That one was definitely his fault. This is a direct cause of him trying to go in for that.
Unfortunate. All right, well, we'll see if they can recoup anything. Dragon has spawned, but if anything of these last 2 games give us an idea, and it is going to be that Dragons are not really the prio, unless the map state signifies that. As Elk on just putting so much pressure in this bot side, as is the... would-be case with the Elise and the Caitlyn. As the repel coming out and On with the mechanics here. Really stepping up to Dwo.
All right, 20 seconds. We're going to have Spellbook unlocked for everybody who has it. So Scout, even though he's missing his flash and teleport, will have his ultimate and will have access to things like Ghost, Heal, Exhaust if he really needs them. I think a cleanse this game actually becomes really, really valuable for Scout as the game goes forward. But probably just going to be looking for either this wave or the next to make sure that he can get a pretty healthy enough back. And once he has, you know, a decent timer here, let's see how Scout gets active on the map. You have this Twisted Fate. You can visit these other lanes, but which one and how you go about it is so important.
Very curious of what Peyz was doing as he, I think it started like walking up towards top. Ended up being a little bit later than he maybe wanted to get back towards bot, but TP ended up getting used by Xiaoxu towards top lane, and we won't see a lane swap coming through. I feel like for the first time in this series. Nice hook dodge. Dude, On is feeling himself on this Elise right now.
All I'm saying, man, if you can't love me on my Bard, you can't love me on the Elise, okay?
I was here for the 09 power spike. They just never made it.
That's true. That's true. Scout's getting locked. He actually goes for Ignite this time. Interesting choice here. He has to back again in the mid wave. So he is losing so much to this melt. Like, I don't think Knight is, Knight is a great player. We've done a lot to talk about him on the hold.
Oh, a little bit of gameplay on the bot side, and unfortunately, Dwo does not have a life to give as he is out of it. And now BLG, we're actually looking for that keeper's verdict on the back end, just in case JDG wanted to follow through. But that's going to be 2 kills now in favor of BLG, and it's starting to feel a little bit like last game, Alk.
Scout's inactive. Nefiri can't find anything. Dwo is just getting picked off. He's supposed to be the pick, right? Like, we're supposed to play, like, gold card, some more gold cards, maybe even a Blitzcrank hook every now and then, but the damage isn't quite there, and now we're seeing that BLG just have kind of run of the map. They're going to send Scout bottom lane, so he can maybe show up for these grubs that spawn in 10, so he's just going to catch the wave. I don't know. I think JDG really do not want to have to give over these grubs, but you have a Yorick top lane. They need to move him over.
See what kind of map rotation they want to put down here to get the 2v2 kicking off in the mid lane. Trying to hit the rocket grab, won't land another one. Shun gonna go into the river here to potentially start up these grubby tubbies. And he's gonna get the first one at least.
You know what I just noticed? Look at Bin's inventory here, man.
Yeah,
this guy
bro,
has it back.
He's saving. He's saving.
He's going for the
chilling.
Rafa back here. Like,
He is
no
gonna get the
items.
Rafa. Let's see what he gets. He has TP too, so he can use it.
Yeah, they can maybe go for a bottom lane dive if they want, but most likely, yeah, he wants to keep going. He's under no threat. He's like, why do I need to recall? I can just permanently have uptime on my teleport. If we're looking for a dive on bottom side, I can make it happen. Let's get some plates, boys.
He is literally chilling as some more plates actually going the way of Alk on bot side now. Spotted out in the jungle of JDG.
Wow.
Feels like JDG have no responses anywhere.
They can't make anything. Juo's not here first. It's on immediately into the jungle, spotted out by Juo, but it doesn't matter. They got another plate here for the Caitlyn. Twisted Fate is getting screwed. I feel bad for Scout, but also he picked this matchup.
Oh, they're just going to try to all in on tonight. They're going to try to get a combo there. Scout finds it. Shun gets the kill and gets away with the keeper's verdict. Now Scout going to step up. He uses the blue card as get a little mana back there on the
Just
back
show me
end.
Caitlyn. Just show me Caitlyn right now. Observers,
How many
please,
plates?
man. Another plate bottom lane has been taken. Peyz, they got 3 grubs, but Caitlyn's the one that's winning on the gold trade here.
3 grubs might come back, though, in the future to be a benefit for them as they move forward, though. But at least they get themselves on the board, and this 2,000 gold lead whittled down to about 1,000. And redeploy back on the map. I need to see Duo get involved. Him and Shun need to connect and get some of these kills as we take a look back.
So we do this, and what I want to kind of say is, yes, oh, that's what we're using that for? Scout immediately.
He was like, oh,
straight
I'm
mid lane. Boom! Send me into the mid lane. But what I want to note here is, while this play is going on, look at the bottom lane waves. Because Caitlyn has now gotten this last wave. They stopped. The reason why he's even in base in the first place is because On and Beitron were sitting in the bot side jungle. So that's like, what, 3.5 waves now missing here for Scout? There's a lot of gold, and you can cheat gold on Twisted Fate. You can use the passive, but it's not a lot.
Yeah, it's not going to be an end-all, be-all winning condition for you. And we're getting closer and closer to first items here. Alk, does that benefit either? I mean, we have a little bit of a lead for BLG, so maybe that benefits a little bit more, obviously.
Maybe.
But in that way, I want to take a look at this JDG pick comp and see where they become really their strongest selves.
So JDG are in a weird spot because of the champions that they have, and we're looking at the builds. Double Ruby Crystal and Scout's inventory to me screams that we're going for Rod of Ages, so we're going to opt to go for more scaling. We now see the completed Spear of Shojin. There is a lot of power if JDG can also grab this Triforce, but with the timings and how their champions are going to want to interact with each other, I would actually say that these first items coming on through for BLG is really, really powerful. So getting closer. I mean, Sundered Sky completed here for Beitron, Collector now here for Elk. I feel really strongly that they can use this priority, move into the bottom side, and grab themselves a dragon in 30 seconds.
Yeah, the Collector spike for Caitlyn early is so ridiculously strong. It would also be BLG's second dragon. They get a kill on top of it. That could just be another step forward, but at least here, they will be trying to keep this objective. Man, it's just so hard to get away from it, man. That's a basic ability, by the way. Duo just had to burn his flash. Gonna be buying a little bit more time, but now all of BLG have point and presence around this dragon thing.
Shun's trying to get up a few more camps, but Beitron's going to hit level 9 finishing this dragon. No way for JDG to play. Scout's opted to get, he hasn't even changed his summoner spell. He still has Ignite from that 6 minutes timer. He is losing out on efficiency for his spellbook. And I think another reason why we've had so much criticism for this legendary player.
Oh, speaking of some criticism, he has the flasher. He's about to get triple tapped there. Does end up burning that summoner. Get a TP in the bot lane as well from Duo after using his summoner's spellbook here and trying to get a little bit of defensive stature on this bot side.
They need to protect this wave and the next one because they want to wait until turret plates go down, at least get Elk one more.
Play? What does he do? He's just getting ran down by Beitron. And I might have been all the givings to Shun early, but now he is getting gapped by the jungler of BLG, and Duo is going to pay for Shun's sins and go down. And unfortunately, that will just mean we do get the escape coming through.
Oh no, run him out of his jungle. No red buff.
Oh yeah, leave the no dogs here. No dogs allowed, as BLG will be taking the red, will be taking the bot side. And I don't think there's been a single close game, I feel like, in this entire series.
Dude, Scout, so look at the minimap. Scout teleported from here with his ultimate to here. just absolutely useless. This Twisted Fate is getting nothing done, and
we need to get the
game
flight radar. What's the guy that like tracked all of Taylor Swift's like plane rides?
God. Oh
we
god.
just do that for Scout.
Maybe they gotta get
The boss, and it was for somebody to go to the bathroom and do number 2, and they were world
okay.
champions after that.
Okay,
So maybe
well, you're
this is
allowed
the
to do
moment.
that for a raid. I feel like pausing a League of Legends game to
Tactical
take
pause. Tactical pause, Alex.
All right, let's go get. We gotta get the scout image then, bro. Nice tactical pause. All right, let's be careful with that with scout in the game here.
All right. Let's get back into this one. A little bit of what's happened so far, and actually a little bit of a replay.
Oh, that's
on
messed
that
up.
disastrous mid lane play. Didn't
Boom.
actually end up in anything but the flash, but that's a little bit of a taste of the medicine Knight's gonna be delivering.
And this is the problem with this draft is like, how does Blitzcrank get to play this game? Blitzcrank ultimately feels like, okay, maybe we're blowing up Poppy. Because Poppy's not a champion that usually gets a lot of tank resistances here. So we'll have to see if JDG can execute. It's been a hard early game. It's been hard games, and honestly, getting reverse swept here feels like a backbreaker for them. Something that we saw from them in last split playoffs is going to 5 and losing to Weibo, eventually getting knocked out in 7th or 8th. It would be a tragedy if we saw this lineup yet again end up in that position.
And it's a team that had lost a lot of faith in them from the community and from fans even on trying to figure out how to make this team work. A lot of the changes, obviously the support change that came through, and trying to figure out how that all worked out. And to come into these players that had those first 2 games, like, oh my god, do I need to start believing in this JDG team again, even with these big names? We are still seeing some of that faltering here, but as we said before, you got to strike when the iron is hot, got to strike when the playoffs are nigh. And we have arrived. Shun will outplay. A little bit of a cocoon play in the topside jungle, but still going to be BLG with some pressure up there.
Trying to fish for something.
Dude, On is
Why are
so
we,
good at that.
We cannot be aiming at the Elise, guys. Please. The Elise
He's
not
done
only
it
can dodge
every
with the
time.
repel, but he also has spiderlings. Like, this is just a 0-win game, zero-sum game for him. So we're seeing that BLG can keep their range, use this standoff with the rest of their team. And honestly, now if Shun gets close, you're just getting Mordekaiser ulted.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to dodge out, actually. That was really nicely done. But the flash play, the Death Realm is there, and he's working him now. Shun is stuck in the pit with Bin, and his team is getting dashed without him. He's going to try to go in, get the reset, but On goes for another repel. It gets away. No way. On just survived. A double kill comes through for Elk, and BLG can do no wrong.
They're going to grab the... God, this is just feats of strength here for BLG. An incredibly strong start to this game. Maybe a fast play here.
Elk. Oh, Elk went with the tilt over Peacemaker and just gave his life away. Beichuan trying to come over, but Peyz will flash for it, gets the kill in the end. And a little bit of something back for JDG. As Peyz tries to get the kill on a Beichuan, won't end up getting it.
Let's see it. Let's go, man. This is good. Peyz knows, and Peyz as the singular carry for this team that we have had very little criticism for in Split 3, trying to step up. What was I think the terminology that I used coming into the series was trying to do too much with too little. As you can see there, and I think you can see it in that last game, he is really trying his damnedest not to lose this series here. This is how that hook ends up landing. I think ultimately still not enough here for JDG. I mean, Mordekaiser getting to kidnap one important member throughout this fight. I think Beichuan gets to do something very similar. And such a close margin here is the gold card coming in late from Scout that barely lets On live.
That On live there is just insane. And he has been so good at the repel time. He's not only dodging the Blitzcrank grabs, but so much damage, so much engage. And something I'm realizing from watching these fights is JDG should have no real way to take these fights, because they're down. Shun is so low, and he is really the only person that can step forward. Duo is looking to pick people a lot of the time, so Shun has to be the one to step up, because Xiaoxu is just in the side lane forever.
And it does not get much better here. Oh, Knight trying to use a rebuttal. He's going to be safe. Oh,
Shun goes in, gets the reset, gets the one and the healing back. That was a misplay from Knight. Now JDG going to move back over. Beichuan was trying to help out with this dragon. Down half health, it will real reset as now we get the movement into this.
Oh no.
Bin's coming over. He's got the Death Realm.
They're not even starting this. Yeah, Bin can just walk straight in. Oh, Scout. What the?
Scout? Scout just went for the mega play on the Elk, but they didn't even get him. Now Shun has to pop his invulnerable as he's now getting very much harassed. Peyz tries to go for Peyz. The double knock up there with the keeper's verdict, and now BLG, they're just going to run away with the non-tanky members. Scout's getting handled by Elk. Elk needs one more hit. He can't find Scout in the end. Now Ben trying to handle the rest of this one. He's going to try to get one more, but he can't do it. And JDG, they end up finding at least a little bit of promise in this game. Still about a 1.5k deficit, and Xiaoxu blocks for Scout.
Okay, Dragon's going to go over to BLG. Knight has now died twice here in kind of meaningless ways for his team. Oh my. We are getting a full-on test of mechanics from every single player. Teleport coming in from Scout. He's going to fix this top wave. We get a replay back at this. A Herald that does nothing here for BLG. And a lapse in judgment here turns into a massive amount of space. And honestly, time in this game for Jindong Gaming.
Get the reset. That's so big here for Shun. And move back down. I mean, this became a very wonky fight. Looks like in the picture-in-picture, we're starting up for another one. Oh, they just all in.
Show me the free. I get into the play.
Yeah,
Come
shall
on.
we go? I think we should go. As now JDG looking more so for the rest of this fight. Arm's getting pretty chunked here. Maiden's gonna walk on by. On doesn't have much of a health bar to speak of. We are posturing around this dragon. Would be third dragon for BLG, and they started up.
Shun is trying to get back his HP by doing the Raptor Camp. He's going to go for red buff or maybe just link around and slink into the back end of the pit. No, he doesn't have enough time.
It's getting low, but the yellow card from Scout is going to hold them off. Peyz going for the 50, and he gets it! Peyz makes the difference for yet another moment. He gets soul point for BLG, and the Death Realm has been used on Scout. Ben, I don't think, can finish Scout off before he comes out. Now he's in the midst of the team. Peyz free firing on the side. Peyz has not been focused, but they get the one kill going. Elk now realizes what's happening. His Keeper's Verdict coming ready for Peyz. He's not going to get hooked in the end. He's not going to pop the Keeper's Verdict either. Both teams walking away with one dead.
Wow, one to kill to each, and it is BLG and Peyz in particular coming up clutch. I think that Shun has actually improved his smites, especially as we got towards the end of the season. Gonna be a block here from Xiaoxu to keep his AD carry alive, but in the critical moments, it was the Otacon steal in game number 4, but now soul point here for BLG, and with Peyz back in the lineup, looking to take them to finish this series.
We were wondering when we were going to see his face again, when he was going to come make the impact that he made the first time he came into the roster itself. It seems like it's playoff time. What is up with BLG and swapping their junglers just in time for playoffs? I don't know, but maybe it's just going to work for them. They are on the edge of a reverse sweep here, but this might be the most contested game we've had so far in this series. But it is still very close to bursting open in favor of BLG. If they can get one more dragon, this Ocean Soul is huge.
I think now that with the situation that this kind of map is in, it's only 1,000 gold lead here, especially because of the other lanes in particular from JDG doing very well for themselves. I was bagging on Scout early in this game. He's at least been able to keep relevancy with Knight, and his ultimate is always going to allow him to make really quick plays on the rest of the map here. So he gets a turret. Otacon hasn't been started by BLG. They have a Mordekaiser. They need to be able to take this away from their opponents.
They're going to try to do so. They have 2 item spikes. They're going to have enough damage to try to burst
no
this
rebuttal.
one down. JDG are moving over. Peyz almost half health now, though. There is the Twisted Fate trying to come in to this side as soon. Turning on the backside, he's just going to get Death Realmed if he walks up, and Otacon is going to go over, and Elk just sits Peyz down. With the help of Knight, the combo comes alive.
Wow, Knight uses the rebuttal, throws back the True Shot Barrage at Peyz, and nearly half healths him. Then Elk gets to finish the job. Really clutch stuff coming on through. That's the Otacon, and Lennon, we are now looking 2.5 minutes from both Baron and Soul for BLG. And this game, it has been a little bit back and forth, but I have to say handily, BLG have been the better team here in the back half of this split, or this series, I should say. Look at this. He starts off, walks in.
God,
he
dude.
pushes it
does
back.
Damage and then gets pushed back? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's because Knight did it too late, unironically. But Scout never comes.
Oh,
no. Oh, and he walks into it. Oh, man, that's tough. A headshot, a flash here from from Elk to finish this off. And that could spell the end of the game. A single mistake from Peyz might have just cost JDG the series.
And for a guy who we haven't really put a big focus on because it hasn't been his fault a lot of the time that they're losing these last couple games, Elk is stepping up at this moment, and that's what's always so terrifying about this BLG team. They are legends in the LPL. They are some of the best to do it. Even if their jungle is a rotating carousel, the rest of these members, if they are on one, if they all of a sudden just get that twinkle in their eye, the anime protagonist takes over, and they become some of the best the LPL has to offer.
I just think this competition for BLG is almost fortress-like, almost impenetrable. We've seen mistakes. Not to say that that isn't possible, but I think that Mel and Mordekaiser are just too broken with what their kits provide. I just think, like, Lennon, even if they lose this next fight around the dragon, all Bin needs to do is walk up to Shun, hit him with the Death Realm, and that's 99% guaranteed Ocean Soul for this BLG comp. And they have no damage from JDG that actually gets them through that kind of comp.
Shun is literally, he can't
dead.
do anything. Dwo just died for him again. He literally fought Beichuan for like 4 or 5 seconds there, did literally nothing. Scout's going to take a side lane turret now, so a little bit of recompense for JDG.
I know why the observers went there. He used his ultimate to give them vision. They've got nothing. Soul spawns in 20. We're about to see BLG go into the upper bracket. I refuse to believe that JDG will be able to come back from an Ocean Soul in a spot where they don't really have consistent DPS.
And Scout's gotten 1 kill in the last 3 games. Like this is a tough performance from JDG's mid laner, and he's always been the question mark this split. Something we never thought we would say for this legend in the mid lane of Scout. BLG just has their number, and they're dialing on the payphone right now. Shun and JDG stepping up. They know this is a bend or break moment. Dragon Soul on the edge for BLG.
Can they get into a spot? They need to help Knight get through.
Oh, the rehook, the rebuttal. It's not enough. Knight's going to fall. He did end up getting 5-man root. The Dragon is the focus now for BLG.
On's almost dead. Shun could look for this. He has no way over the wall. He has to try to use his ultimate, maybe flash. Both teams are really hesitant over this. They need, if you are BLG, you're trying to pull this dragon to your side of the river, get all those traps down. And I need to watch where Bin is right now.
Oh, the hook onto Bin! He's gonna get him. He goes into the death realm. He buys so much time. Oh my god,
They got it!
He's trying to kill Dwo. The dragon goes over to BLG. They get the soul. They're turning on to Shun. Shun's getting taken down now. They're gonna start working back. They have the Atacon. The damage is done. Bin ends up finding Dwo as well. It is the 3. Oh, he's going to get a lot of damage. Not going to kill Peyz, though. It is ending up being a 2-for-1 in favor of BLG, but they got the soul. They got everything they came for.
Oh my god, Lennon, even with Knight making a misplay, BLG still grabbed the soul. Ocean Soul is going to be so deadly versus JDG. I hope we get a replay of that, but I don't think we're going to have time. We're going to move straight into the Baron. Bin can teleport if he really needs to. It'll be a turret gained for Xiaoxu at the very end of it all. But now you're 2, maybe 3 items on a single person versus an incredibly tough nut to crack on BLG.
Oh, this is so tough. And he's going to get rebuttaled right back. Does a lot of damage to Dwo. And that's going to be the Baron going to BLG. They're going to TP in the back, though, and Scout just gets caught out. He's going to get flashed on by Bin. Scout's going to try to buy some time. The Baron goes over to BLG. BLG are a bit split now, but they aren't split in who they want to kill. It's Xiaoxu, who just gets obliterated by Knight and Elk and the rest of the crew. As Shun, it's friends, but it's not Prow. It is enemies for sure in this series. Against his old team, against his old friends, he cannot stand tall, and BLG will destroy JDG in this Game 5.
It doesn't even matter. Like, Scout's life does not matter in this game right now. He's going to gold card again. They're going to try and chase him out. For what reason, I don't really know, because you're wasting this Baron timer that we could be using pushing bottom lane. Mid-wave, they're currently assaulting the mid-tier 2.
Oh,
that's a rebuttal
God,
to pull
dude.
Dwo, and let's just put the cherry on the top here. Let's finish this game here for BLG, and let's send them to the upper bracket.
Oh, the ace in the hole. Peyz is down. President down. That's an ace, an unofficial one going through as Shun just spawning now. An incredible come up from BLG in this series. Games 3, 4, 5. Domination coming from them, and a reverse sweep you can dream of to start the playoff run.
Very important. And what a dominant way in the back half of this, especially with Beitron coming in. What look does BLG have for the rest of playoffs? And what does this playoff bracket now hold for us with JDG in the bottom half?
Game 5 Melfort night, the first competitive Mel for him coming through, and it's a team-wide effort. JDG have nothing in the tank, and BLG, they'll rise to the occasion, a reverse sweep to start this tournament off, and a Game 5 win for BLG.
If you are a JDG fan, Scout's KDA in the last 3 games is 1-15-12. I don't know. Like, the Talia game, rough. Happens, you're playing into Nocturne Ori. I think that's a really tough 2v1 to play or 2v2 to play in a lot of instances. That Yone game, you got countered in lane and you got bodied. Game 5 now, like, you had this Twisted Fate and you looked kind of lost. Not even kind of, you looked lost on the map. Like,
yeah, 100%.
I'm struggling
It's
to
a
find
shame.
ways to help JDG fans cope. Because it has been Peyz all season long. It has been Peyz every single series, but he is getting no help. His mid laner is absent. His support is not great. And top lane has very minimal impact. We saw neutralize as the series went on further versus Bin.
That's the part. I mean, Xiaoxu just had an incredible setup early on into this series, was dominating Bin. As we hit the Miracle projection is correct. As
that's technically right.
Are correct here. Yeah, they did get a 3-0 in the end, but it just was after the first 2 games. But the real correct ones are us in the clump that did vote 3-2 for BLG. We expected it to go the distance. We just didn't expect it in the way that it was. And it was 4 games of just kind of one-sided affairs. Game number 5 was definitely a little bit closer for a while, but it ballooned open, and I think this is a BLG that the rest of the bracket needs to be terrified of.
Yes and no. I think the fact that they even went to 5 games versus JDG is more of an indictment on BLG. Yes, JDG look bad, and that was one of the things that we were talking about at the very top of show, which was what form were we going to get from these 2 teams? Was it going to be a JDG that looked like the first half of Split 3 or the back half of Split 3? It looks like more so the latter than the former. And JDG looking more like themselves, hopeful at the start. They gave us the entirety of 2025 in a best of 5. We start off strong, we get to 3rd place.
Why you gotta bring that up, man?
And then we just lose for no reason.
Yeah. And I obviously there's some adversity for both teams, some changes. I mean, Chuo has been there for a while, but we saw obviously Beitron come in game number 2. That game didn't look good, but he got his feet under him and started looking good in the rest of the series. I mean, they just gave themselves easy tickets forward, right? Starting with that Nocturne Ori combo where it really teed off. And Knight stepped up. Knight absolutely stepped up. I think that was a big question mark. We said, you know, when this team doesn't have step up from their solo laners, it looks like a completely different squad. They don't have a lot of strength. They can't play with their jungle. And, you know, they started off with trying to give Knight some more resources, and it ended up working out. I mean, even in their loss in game 2, he was like 4-0 on the rise to start it off.
You know, I had to go back in this. Do you remember the last time that Bin played Mord?
No, not off the top of my head.
I'll give you a hint. You were casting.
Oh,
this.
Well, that's any time of the last 5 years. So, last summer.
You're right. It was last summer
Oh.
placements. He playing against WE. He was playing against a Skarner. And then before that, he hadn't played Mordekaiser since 2020 Demacia Cup or 2020 Summer Playoffs for LPL.
They pulled out the bag here for Game 5 for BLG. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, the Mel first time competitive, like...
I think they learned a lot from their last series versus IG. Like, first they pull out the Mordekaiser, which is something that obviously the Shy then brought out. Also had the Hex played in this game. We didn't talk about it too much just because we were watching JDG just get completely ran over for 15 plus minutes after a certain point.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ, that is a graph. That is a very funny looking graph at the very least.
That's like 2 minutes, like 2.6 minutes that lead just ballooned.
Yep, that was probably the single fight that we saw JDG actually play decent, and then everything else just went wayward. Yeah, I I'm going to be honest, Lennon. This was supposed to be a night of learning. This was supposed to be a night of hopefully progression. And I feel very much the same as I did 4 hours ago.
I do too. Yes.
I feel like JDG are a team that I cannot trust. And I'm looking at the schedule. I am looking at the wrong schedule, actually. I'm going to move over to this one because I have the graphic. They're going to play EDG in 4 days in the bottom half of the bracket. Now, it's not guaranteed. If EDG make an upset, then egg on my face. But assumably, they're going to be going down there. I am worried that they're going to lose to a Group Nirvana team. And if they lose to EDG, EDG will outrank them in regional points, which means JDG will not be able to make Worlds, which is very, very worrisome now.
And after a very long year, that would be of utmost disappointment. This new start, this supposedly new start for some of the bigger names in the LPL, you know, bringing Peyz over, having the transfers coming for Chun from Scout, and I think a lot of the in-betweens that we've seen from this roster. It would not be a beautiful end to the story here in a very long year for them, but BLG, I can't help but feel like I need to see another series from them. See if they can clean up. I know that's why we said we don't feel any different than when we came into this one, where, you know, a majority of us thought that BLG were a bit favored, even if it was going to be a bit sloppy. But now they have the momentum moving forward. So how powerful can that be for this roster?
And guess what their next matchup is? They're playing most likely against IG, bro.
Yep.
I think they're going lower bracket fast. In 2 days. That'll be in 2 days. That lower bracket will play on the 9th, or that upper bracket will play on the 9th. So a lot of games in a row for some of these teams, and
we don't have a break till finals. I'm pretty sure. I think there's like a small break before finals.
Yeah, so we go from the 7th all the way up until the 16th. The 16th, and then we play on the 20th for lower finals, and then finals is the very next day on the 21st. That's a tough schedule, especially if you're a lower bracket team. I guess that is your reward for going through the upper bracket. Big way, easy Hoon.
Big way.
Put those celebrations away, brother. We gotta fix some things. Job's not done.
Yeah.
But
who gets MVP? I think it might be Alk.
Alk. Like he played this Caitlyn game almost to perfection. I can't really think of too many flaws.
H1 did do some nasty stuff on that.
I also agree. I think unfortunately for H1, he did not have a one-shot the enemy AD carry moment around the Dragon/Otacon, and then didn't outplay like multiple like weird situations from enemy teams. So otherwise, I do want to say the good things that we can take away from this series for BLG is I think that with the fact that we are going to have more fearless series, and some of the meta changes, although it seems early on that 25-17 hasn't shaken out as much as maybe we wanted to. Maybe we'll get that further down the line in this tournament. But Beichuan has given them some avenues of like different champions. And maybe Shadow does as well. Beichuan's actually going to end up earning himself the first MVP and his first one of the entire split. What a
baby.
Honestly beautiful like cherry to put our bow to put on top of this series. Beichuan subs in games 2 and gets himself the first MVP of the split.
I'm sorry, homie Shadow, you just lost your job, bud. As Beichuan comes in, ends up finding success, and unfortunately that honeymoon phase of Shadow when he came in, found undefeated streak, an impressive one for BLG. It's now over. It is the era of Beichuan once again for BLG, and a dominant series from them.